Hello everyone and welcome back. Before we get into today's video, here's a quick roundup of this week's fragrance community news. First, perfumer Thierry Vasseur has admitted his embarrassment after being fined for uprooting a lavender plant in a park in Paris. Next, Max Forte has apologised for any confusion after he and a guest in a recent video appeared unaware that the 1980s ended on the last day of 1989.
Friends, this is Ralph Lauren's Safari, and this was introduced in the late 80s, but it didn't really...
1992.
Yeah, 1992, that's right.
And finally, Jeremy Fragrance has admitted that he has asked for a few alterations after the unveiling of the prototype for his new waxwork model at Madame Tussauds. Hello everyone, welcome back. So today we're going to be having a look at a great fragrance from SP Parfums, and this one is called Lignum Vitae Forte. This is a fantastic aromatic fougere or barbershop style fragrance with a real twist of exoticism to it. So SP Parfums have been making fragrances available to the public, I think, since 2016, and I sampled a few of them and I said this was the one that really wowed me. They were kind enough to send me a bottle for review. The perfumer is Sven Pritzkele, a German gentleman. I believe he used to be a pharmacist, spent many years honing his perfume making craft, and has now released some very exotic, rich, pungent, and really great fragrances. So let's find out a little bit more key information about this one. Okay, so here are the notes according to Fragrantica. They don't split them into top, mid and base, just a list. Leather, sandalwood, musk, patchouli, cypriol oil, also known as naga-motha, labdanum, gayakwood, nard Himalayan and palisander rosewood. The company themselves on the website describe it this way: old-fashioned barbershop accord, strong and pure masculine, very fougere, earthy, woody and ambery, patchouli, naga-motha, cyst, gayakwood, hints of nard, sandalwood, rosewood and some shades of leather and musk. So that gives us a good idea of some of the notes in this one. The prices then, it's very expensive. 30 mils, that's the largest size you can get, is 158 euros. A 7.5 mil sprayer is 45 euros and a 1.5 mil sample is 10 euros on the company's website. Okay, so clearly it's expensive. Whether that's worth it, of course, you know, many people say that's too much money for a 30ml bottle of anything. The fragrance does have a real niche quality to it. It's made, I feel, in small batches, I guess handmade by one man, so it's got that special individual touch. And if you've got enough disposable income, or if perfume is important enough to you, you could argue that 150 something euros could easily be wasted on an unnecessary pair of shoes or a meal out with friends and a few drinks that's gone in a few hours. So you could argue that it is well worth spending that kind of money if fragrance is important enough to you. In this one, it is a real wow factor scent. However, I will show you some other options later in the video of really great fougere fragrances, some of them niche as well, that cost a lot less. So don't feel that you have to be willing to spend that kind of money for this video to be of interest to you. However though, let's get on with the smell on this one. So what you've got with this one, you've got the sandalwood, musk, patchouli, leather, some real traditional ingredients that we found in aromatic fougères like Paco Rabanne's Porom from 1973 over the years. It's also got that sort of mossy green element to it that you get in things like Polo Green from Ralph Lauren from 1978. This one also has an added depth of a rich, earthy sweetness about it. There are some ingredients here that I don't know what they are or what they smell like. Naga-motha and nard being the key examples. Actually, I did look up naga-motha and nard. So naga-motha is a plant that grows in India and some other places, and it's apparently something that smells kind of earthy, a little bit dirty maybe potentially, and some people liken it to oud. So it's likely to be contributing to the slightly exotic, earthy, woody smell. Nard is also known as musk root, and again it's got a little bit of a musky smell, as the name would suggest, and can smell a little bit dirty, but maybe in a good way. So that's what those two notes are. Labdanum, I think, gives a kind of resinous feel, and I definitely get that. And there's a little bit of an exotic thing. It reminds me, as I've said in my written review, please check that out below, I'll put the link. It's my new blog where I do written reviews. I said it's a bit like if they reformulated Paco Rabanne with the help of Amouage and gave them an unlimited ingredients budget. Paco Rabanne Porom, meets amouage. Could be this. Bit of a silly oversimplification, but that gives you some idea. It opens up a little bit boozy and medicinal, actually. There's a sweetness and an almost boozy stroke medicinal kind of feel, which I really enjoy and gives it this twist of the enigmatic or exotic. That sort of fades away gradually, but you're left with a definite sweet, earthy, rich smell, and all these different kind of woods and aromatics in there, giving this feel of a kind of dark, woody forest, a little bit dank, a little bit mossy, and definitely masculine. And then there's this kind of sweetness and maybe a hint of incense, I think, in there, which reminds me a little bit of some of the more exotic or Middle Eastern styled niche fragrances, just a tiny bit. So it's got that little twist on the traditional aromatic fougere genre, and that's what I find really interesting about it. So it's definitely masculine, definitely has a retro feel, and the company have done that with their other big one that a lot of people love, Suntan Glam, where they took a 70s suntan lotion kind of theme and really made it a powerhouse with a kind of gnarly, sort of sexy undertone to it. So they like to give us a little bit of a retro feel with some of these. This one definitely does that. I think the perfumer Sven Pritzker said it was inspired by his dad's shaving foam or soap, or the smell of it when he was growing up. And you've got that here, but you've got this twist of exotic stuff. There's something a little bit different in there, but there's also that woody, leathery masculinity underlying this one. Definitely doesn't quite smell, though, as if you've literally plucked it back out from the 70s. So it's got that modern niche feel mixed with a little bit of that retro feel, but it somehow manages to smell like something unique, new and different. So if you're interested in old school barbershop scents, but you want one that's got a little bit of a more magical twist to it, something a bit more exotic, and if you're interested in really high-end niche stuff, companies where they're really handmade stuff, people with a passion for fragrances, then Lignum Vitae Forte is really worth checking out. It does have great performance. It lasts for hours and hours. I believe it's extract de parfum, so it stays on the skin and clothes. I've got a bit on the jumper and it still smells of it about a month later. It really lasts well. Projection is good, but not actually beast mode in projection, so it kind of makes it wearable. You can wear it to work and things like that if you're careful, but with this one, 2 to 3 sprays is kind of all you need. It has a nice sprayer. I kind of like the apothecary design of the bottle fitting in with the perfumer's history as a pharmacist, and the box, you could say it's all a bit basic for the money, but it's got that kind of minimalist feel, and I think that's the idea, the sort of old apothecary potion feel about it. So really, really powerful, 70s style with a bit of exoticism, fantastic performance, and a really kind of captivating and a real wow factor. When I first smelled it, I literally said wow, and that's really nice. So also a bit of a medicinal thing, and not going to appeal to everybody. It's very much a niche fragrance, and it will appeal to a niche market, but I'm part of that market, I think, because I do love my barbershop scents. If you don't want to spend that kind of money and you're feeling alienated by this video, don't be alarmed. On the designer shelves, you can try Rive Gauche Pour Homme from Yves Saint Laurent, much more of a straightforward shaving foam scent, a bit like Azzaro Pour Homme from 1978, which you might want to try, but they've smoothed it out a bit here, so it's more wearable in the modern world, great work scent or day-to-day scent. Lovely kind of lavender combination. It's got Gaiac wood, as the one we're reviewing today has as well, and a little twist of anise or licorice. Lovely shaving foam overall vibe, clean, fresh, nice, but not in your sort of citrusy bergamot way or your modern aquatic scent. So a little bit retro, but smooth and clean and crisp, and you kind of tidied up for the 21st century. Yves Saint Laurent Rive Gauche Pour Homme, that can be got for really great prices for that 80ml reissue bottle, so worth looking at that one. Penhaligon Sartorial, bit like Brut by Fabergé, smartened up for the 21st century, a little bit of a higher quality rendition of that. Has some notes borrowed from a tailor's workshop in German Street, so there's a trouser press accord and a little bit of an ozonic metallic effect, which is supposed to represent scissors in a tailor's shop, but it ends up smelling like a posh version of Brut. And again, on discounters, although it's a niche scent, you can get it for really good prices, not much above your kind of designer fragrance prices. And of course, Fougère Royale from Hubigant, a reissue of their own fragrance from the late 19th century, the original aromatic, just the original Fougère, I think it was defined as Fougère Royale. Deep, rich, earthy, woody, a little bit of bergamot, fresh citrus in the beginning, lavender, patchouli, oak moss. Really, really nice, high quality rendition of an aromatic fougère. So those are some alternatives, but the fragrance that we're talking about today from this very avant-garde and experimental company, I really have to say this is my favourite from them. Fantastic performance. old school barbershop meets a little bit of 21st century niche fragrance exoticism, done with what smell like really expensive ingredients. I know this is expensive, but it smells expensive and very, very rich. Be careful. Even people like me have to try and exercise restraint with the sprayer. 2 or 3 sprays. You'll be smelling classy and very, very different to anyone else out there if you wear this one. Superb stuff, and I was very privileged to be sent a bottle. Check out my written review in the link below. Let me know if you've tried this, or let me know some of your other favourite aromatic fougere fragrances. Thank you very much for watching. Remember, whatever you're doing in life, let's project. I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.